All right. So here we go. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? I don't know about you, but 4-day work weeks always seem longer than 5-day work weeks. I don't know about you,
I,
man. I have had the
I
longest week.
totally agree. It felt like, for me, it feels like Labor Day was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then on top of that, uh, based on just scheduling, I had another podcast spot, which I'll give a shout out in a minute, and I have another show I'm going to be on. Again, a shout out in a minute on that, and then I had three tournament series matches. Had to take my sister-in-law to the airport this morning. Had to clone my drive, which thought would take 6-7 hours on my computer, but ended up taking 13 hours. I've just had this weekend hasn't been a weekend. It's been a
Sounds like
work.
you've been busy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, my weekend has been pretty much a weekend. Friday, I took the wife and we went on a date night, had dinner, and then just kind of chilled. And then last night we went over to a friend's house and grilled steak and made shrimp scampi and grilled ribs and just hung
man.
out.
I gotta start live. I gotta find a way to live closer to you because you're always grilling, and I love to always eating food that's been grilled. So
Yeah, yeah,
seriously, man.
it was a good night. Didn't get in till almost 2:30 this morning, so yeah, yeah, a little tired, but it was totally worth it. So, needless to say, I personally have not gotten to play a whole lot of Hearthstone this week between work and other obligations. But sounds like from your introduction there that yeah, you've been pretty well immersed in Hearthstone this week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really played a lot of productive ladder games, so to say. I'm still legend and standard, and I'm floating. I think I'm ranked diamond 4 in wild, and that's just because we played little on the podcast I was on. Uh, but Friday night, I got to do this awesome guest host spot on Born to Be Wild. Born to Be Wild is one of the best and few wild exclusive podcasts.
Love those guys. Absolutely
Definitely
love those guys.
check out their content at it's www.borntobewildhs.com,
Don't
and
forget
on
the HS.
don't forget the HS, very important. And on YouTube, they're Born to Be Wild podcast. And if you go there, you will see a very lengthy episode, as well as a play portion video that has us playing Uther OTK. It's Raffles list of Uther OTK. It's like a turbo OTK list. And we went 3-0 on the ladder.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
which was really good, a lot of fun. But it ended up being almost a total of 4 hours with those guys, which I'm definitely not going to complain about. You talk about Hydralisk, Nate Wolf, and Mike Lowe, of course. Mike Lowe's an OG Hero Power fan. And, of course, Nate Wolf was on one of our early episodes. So
Yeah, yeah.
lots of fun with those guys. I had to yesterday, I had 3 tournament series matches to play. So I played all 3 of them, and then I had to, like I said, work on my computer, which took 13 hours. And then today we have the podcast, and tonight I have a prep show where tomorrow night I will be on THL's Wild show they do every Monday night called Wild and Out, where they talk about the Wild series in THL, which I'm part of.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome.
it's a full week, full weekend. So if you want to check out my guest spot on Wild and Out, they record at 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays, and Team Hearth Legends has shows just about every night of the week. So it's over at twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends.
All right, yeah. Make sure you guys go check that out. Support Zerotio in his endeavors, and 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, so Monday night, 9:14. Correct.
Yep, that's
All
correct.
right. Well, that brings us to pretty much the news and discussion this week. We've got just a little bit to talk about. Masters Tour Montreal is happening this weekend. And of course, it is an online event, as most of the Masters Tours this year have been.
Mm-hmm.
Our top 8 have quite a few names that we recognize from
Yeah.
previous events. So
We do have to remember that this is just after a balance patch.
yes,
So the balance patch
yeah,
went live on the 8th, which was that Tuesday, and deck submissions were due, I think, midnight Thursday, which was the 10th, and then tournament started on the 11th. So
yeah, yeah,
um, I love Masters tours like this because you get to see who can adapt to change the fastest.
yeah.
And there's a lot of names here that are new, and there's a lot of names that are infrequent in the Masters Tour, and then we have some big names in here, but
Right,
none of the really gigantic names.
right. So let's run down the top 8. Top 8, we had Frenetic, we had Lightning, we had Lammy Series, then we had World Champion VKLiooon,
Yeah,
we had Shao Dai, Dread Eye, Drevo, and Cagnetta 99 making
yeah.
top 8 for Montreal.
And a couple of these guys have been in some Masters Tour, like Frenetics. I've seen his name. Dreadeye, I've seen his name. Lambie Series is big in the Eastern scene. Of course, VK Lion. Xiao Dai is in that same kind of practice group that VK Lion's in. So you see a lot of deck similarities there. Cagnetta's a kind of a newer face. And this Lightning guy who ended up going 9-0 in Swiss.
Being the number 1 seed going into
Number
top
one
8.
seed. This is his second Masters tour.
Wow.
And he kind of looks like Thor. He's German. He just looks too cool to play Hearthstone. It was really neat to see him get into the top 8 and make a name for himself, and I hope he keeps it up.
All right, so this event is actually still ongoing. They are playing through the top 8 currently as we are recording, so
Yeah.
we won't have results for you until next week.
No. There's only been one match complete, and Lightning did lose his first round. His first round of the finals, so he is out. But top 8 is still going to be some good money.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it's in the European region, which is a very tight region. It's going to be hard for him to get into GM caliber area. But Frenetic did really good against him. And as we're speaking now, VK Lion is in her series with Lambie series. So
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this probably a little next week. But definitely check out the Coin Concede podcast, who will definitely make sure to break this down and go into detail of the tournament if you want to know more about that.
Yeah. So, as we talked about last week, patch 18.2 dropped on Tuesday, September the 8th. And that, as we kind of went into detail, it brought some changes to battleground parties. It brought some new heroes, and it brought some balance updates to cards. So, Zerotio, now that we're almost a week out, we kind of had our speculation last week on how these card changes would affect the meta. Now that they've been live for almost a week, were we right? Are we seeing the cards being played less or being played about the same?
Really, we're seeing them played about the same. Secret Passage is just still being put in Rogue. Pretty much every list I've seen of Priest has Cabal Acolyte still in it as a 2/4. Um, I've seen on ladder some people playing with Shaman, trying to get Totem Goliath, to be usable in like a totem type Shaman, but that kind of got abandoned, and people that are playing Shaman are playing the Battlecry Shaman. So Totem Goliath is still not seeing play. Arch Witch Willow is another one. I saw a couple people on ladder try this out, but again, the worst thing it has done is it's made Tempo Mage a little low rolly, because um, now that Archwitch Willow is an 8-mana 5/5, when you Conjurer's Calling your mana giant, you could get there's an extra 5/5 in the pool, so you can actually low roll on this. So that's really the only impact I've seen on that. Dark Glare has kind of it's the only one that really impacted the meta the most, because nobody's really putting it in their zoo lists for standard at all, and it's pretty much dead in wild.
Okay.
The deck is gone. I play in THL Wild series, and there are a few people that didn't get their deck submissions in time, so their decks from the previous week rolled over. And so far, from what I've seen, everybody who's accidentally resubmitted Dark Glare Warlock has lost.
Gotcha.
Including one of our opponents. So, obviously, some people thought, well, maybe you could still play it. It just won't be like the super, high rolly good deck in Wild, and it's just dead. It's dead in Wild. So
yeah,
that was Dark Glare is the most impactful, which is kind of what we predicted. But what it's done is this whole balance change has brought out more decks like Face Hunter, and some more aggressive decks, some variations of Shaman, like mainly the Battlecry Shaman, the Quest Shaman. So a few decks have been able to rise the ranks a little bit, and it's kind of lowered the effectiveness of pure Paladin, though there is a new Paladin. They're calling it a Lee Broom Paladin, because it uses the animated broomstick. It's a non-pure Paladin, and it's kind of rised up in tier rating. So this balance changes have made a shakeup, but it's not so much in one direction. And this is kind of right where I want to see balance changes be. And they could do more of these small adjustments throughout the cycle, and I wouldn't be upset.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good news for those for everybody playing all those cards except Dark Glare. So, yeah, glad to see they're still active.
Dark Glare in Standard really wasn't the big bad evil that it was in Wild. Now, in Wild, I have been playing a bit of Wild, because I'm working on some testing in Wild, as well as I want to push for Legend again this month. But Wild is a crazy now, because all the OTK decks that you just couldn't play OTK decks in Wild, because Dark Glare was killing you on turn 3, basically, by summoning a board full of 8/8 on turn 3.
Yeah.
Well, now the OTK decks, since they can survive to like turn 5 or 6 now, can then set up their stalls, like timeouts for Paladin or your ice blocks for Mage, and you can eventually pull off your OTK. So I'm seeing a ton of OTK in Wild right now, all kinds, from Mechathoon to various like combo decks for like Mage specifically.
Yeah. So let's say you want to get into playing Wild right now. What would you suggest to people who are listening that are like, okay, I'm bronze 10, I haven't played any Wild at all this month. What deck should I jump in there with?
If somebody came to me suggesting what should I jump in with, I would say Kingsbane Rogue, because it's still good. It pretty much was the best aggro deck, in my opinion. There's two versions. There's an aggro version and a more control-y version that uses the Valera hero card. But I would play the aggro version. Now, me personally, because I am an OTK savant, for lack of better terms. I am finding a lot of success with Uther OTK,
Okay.
and it's doing really well for me. Like I said on Born to Be Wild, we went 3-0 in the ladder, and it we faced all kinds of different decks. So
Right.
it's even able to compete with aggro decks because it can stall and use. It can actually pull off the OTK really, really, really early.
Okay.
Because you use the 8/8 that gives you it's those normally the timeless that gives you 10 mana crystals. It gives both players 10 mana crystals, so you can ramp up really fast. So I personally would play an OTK style deck, but if you're not an OTK
Player.
player,
Yeah.
the Kingsbane works because you can race the OTK decks.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, that brings us to week 2 of the Forbidden Library is fixing to go live on Tuesday, September the 15th. So
Yeah.
we talk again. This is something we talked about last week. We saw the introduction of the Battlegrounds parties and the new heroes from Scholomance. It also saw the drop of the Mega Wild Bundle, which was 54 packs. Did you buy this bundle, Zerotio?
$35, I think
I
was
think that's
35
correct.
US.
Yeah.
I did not, and the main reason I did not is because I pretty much have a full collection of all the usable cards, and
Yeah.
I tend to have enough dust that I can craft anything I don't need. I just recently I crafted Iron Juggernaut for my THL match this week. So that was that was fun.
Yeah.
But this bundle doesn't have a portrait or card back tied to it, so I didn't feel a necessity
Yeah.
to getting it, because usually if it's just cards, I've got the cards.
Right, right. So speaking of, week 2 of the Forbidden Library brings an all-new Hearthstone Book of Heroes feature where you can earn a Mage pack plus the Scholar Jaina bundle, which will be 5 Mage packs plus the Scholar Jaina hero portrait.
Yeah, so we don't know a price on this yet. And it's 5 packs and a hero portrait.
What would you say if it came out at, say, $19.99?
I wouldn't recommend anybody to buy it at that price, because I think the packs themselves are in a bundle like that are worth about $5, and I don't think the portrait would be worth $15. Now, would I do it? Probably, because I'm a collector of the portraits and the card backs. I wouldn't like doing it. I think $9.99 would be a hot spot.
Okay.
I'd like to see it at $4.99.
Wow. Okay.
Because at $4.99, you're getting each pack for $1 and a free portrait.
Right. Okay.
But $9.99, I think, is a good value. At $9.99, I'd recommend anybody to get it. More than that, if it was $14.99, again, that'd be real close for me.
Right.
Because basically you're paying $10 for the portrait, and I hate most portraits aren't. Usually, if you get a portrait, it comes with a card. It comes with
a card back,
card back, and everything, and that's $9.99. So
right.
Portrait alone, I think, is $5.
Okay.
So that's why $9.99 would be the price point I'd want to see.
Okay. All right. That makes total sense, and I can get behind that. I would absolutely buy this bundle at $9.99 in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, in $19.99, $14.99, I'll probably still do it, and I would tell other Jaina, other portrait collectors that it's probably a good deal if you collect the portraits, but for the packs, it's not. Right. And honestly, for somebody who plays as much as I do, the packs, it's definitely not.
Right. All right. So that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is one we've seen before. It is Bloodmagic in Standard. So how much are you willing to sacrifice for power? All your spells will cost health instead of mana. So I did this. I did this Tavern Brawl based on a recommendation
Fastidious.
from Vastidius.
Me too.
And yeah, turn 3, I had a Gadget Zan Auctioneer with +4/+4. I had an 8/8 taunt with Divine Shield, and a Silverhand Guardian with +4/+4, and my opponent just conceded.
Yeah, so the deck is a basically it's a Libram Paladin that also has some of it has the 7 mana spell that summons a minion from your deck and gives it taunt
Yeah,
and Divine Shield.
it's oh, hang on. I'll tell you the name of that card here in just a minute.
Commendation?
Commencement. Yeah.
Commencement. It
It pulls the card out of your deck into play,
and the only minion I think in the deck, because I played it too, is
Gadget Zan Auctioneer.
Gadget Stand Auctioneer. And a lot of the spells in the deck will heal you for as much as they cost.
That is correct.
It doesn't have any of the Libram reducing minions because you don't need them. Because if you're spending 9 mana to heal your face for 8 and summon an 8/8 with taunt and Divine Shield, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
Sorry, I won that on turn 2, not turn 3. So
yeah, I commencement and did something else on turn 1, and my opponent conceded. I commencement and lay on hands.
Okay. Nice.
On turn 1, and he conceded.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. Let me tell you, Vastidius, super nice guy.
Yeah.
Diabolical deck builder when it comes to tavern brawls.
Yeah. I don't know where he gets his sources. Sometimes he says he net decks them. Sometimes he designs them himself. But whenever you have like breaking rules type tavern brawls, I definitely run over to their Discord, the Legend of the Innkeeper Discord, and go in their tavern brawl section and find out what is Vastidius doing, because he will break a tavern brawl.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So.
And he's sneaky good at the game. I know they have a podcast that's for casual players, and he is technically a casual player, but I put a good deck in his hands one season, and he sped up into I think he got up into high platinum without much effort. So he's surprisingly good at the game. I know a lot of people have given him criticism that he's not that good, but he likes to meme. He likes to play crazy combos, crazy decks, and that doesn't always result in a high win rate. And he doesn't care. It doesn't matter to him because he's not a tryhard like I am, or So if I ever want some neat ideas, I go to Vastidius, and then I try to refine them from there.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, that brings us to this week's deck list. And as we were talking about Masters Tour Montreal going on, we went over to look and see what some of these top 8 players were checking out. And the world champion herself, VKLiooon, was playing this really interesting looking Face Hunter. We're going to talk about it, and we'll play it a couple of games. I'll run down the deck list and then let Zerotio kind of talk about the deck. So it's 2 Adorable Infestation, 2 Demon Companion, 2 Dwarven Sharpshooter, 2 Intrepid Initiate, 2 Tour Guide, 2 Wolpertinger, 2 Freezing Traps, 2 Imprisoned Felmaw, 1 copy of Pack Tactics, 2 Phase Stalkers, 1 copy of Pressure Plate, 2 Scavenger's Ingenuity, 2 Voracious Reader, 2 Eaglehorn Bow, 2 Kill Command, and then of course you've got Dragonbane and Lorekeeper Polkelt as your legendaries. So total cost for this deck is under 5,000 dust. That's not bad.
And the use of Lorekeeper Polkelt in this deck is very unique, because normally you're playing Polkelt to try to get your top end to pull off whatever combos, things like that. You don't expect Polkelt to be in a non-combo centric or non-control centric deck. But what Polkelt does here is it puts Dragonbane and Kill Commands and Eaglehorn bows on top of your deck.
Yeah.
And if you've already drawn the Dragonbane, it's Kill Command and Eaglehorn bow on top of your deck, and that's just damage.
Right.
It just guarantees
Burst.
for the
It's
next 2 or 3
straight
turns
burst.
you're drawing damage. It has some really neat synergies where you can use the Adorable Infestation early and just hold that little 1/1 cub in your hand to couple with your kill commands. The Phase Stalker being able to pull Pressure Plate is really good. Pressure Plate's great against the Libram decks and the Druid decks because when they do Guardian Animals, it's going to kill one of them.
Right.
I had a game today where I was able to play a Freezing Trap early, and then I Phase Stalker Hero Powered and got Pressure Plate. So they Guardian Animals, it killed the 4/5 taunt, and then when they tried to attack with the 5/4 to draw, it sent it back to their hand, basically just losing them the game.
Yeah.
It's also important to note that Tour Guide, if you Hero Power for 2 mana and Tour Guide on turn 3, you can play Dragonbane on turn 4 and have a free Hero Power.
That's true. Yeah.
So Dragonbane on curve, where you're also getting its ability, is just sick. So Tour Guide's important in that aspect. It's just it's a face deck. Just point at the face and go. Play the Smork song on loop off of YouTube and just have fun.
It's awesome.
It's a good deck. I'm not a great aggro player, and I played a couple games and I got locked out a couple times. I did play against this type of deck, is very similar to this. I think it built a little differently, and I was able to sweep them because they played Face Hunter every time. So if you have somebody who's good at control and knows how to beat this deck, it can draw a little dry, but with practice, I'm sure, just remember, face is the place, and don't forget to use your hero power. I'll say that again, I promise.
Yeah. More than once. So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to playing this deck a couple of games. I was telling Zerotio before the show, I don't actually have Dragonbane or Polkelt yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing it played.
So that brings up another topic. A lot of your pro players are saying Polkelt is not that good. It's kind of a trap card that you're spending a turn to do nothing to make your draws better. And Sottle was making a big reference to this in the past few streams he's done. Well, I guess some analytics have been done by Wicked Good from Off Curve, and Sottle actually shouted him out on broadcast today that they found that the win rates that equate to playing Polkelt actually increased. So Polkelt is a lot better than a lot of people think it is.
Okay.
So Polkelt isn't a must, and even Wicked Good on our chat says you can sub out Polkelt if you don't have it with something else, maybe a second Pressure Plate or another Pack Tactics or something like that. Dragonbane's a little more important,
right?
Because it's essentially 7 damage.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of damage to cut out of your deck. So if you are missing Dragonbane and Polkelt but are willing to craft one of them, craft a Dragonbane and cut the Polkelt.
All right. There you go. So if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned as we go check this deck out in the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, or if you'd just like to hang out and talk Hearthstone with us, you can join our patron-only Discord by heading over to patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right. So make sure you've got your spectate on. I know you've been doing a lot of tournament matches this weekend.
Yes, and it is off. So just now, it just popped up just now. So I've still got all my legacy lineups here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to go when you are. You ready for me to spin the wheel, or no? You're not.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the client to load up here.
Yeah, since they've had some bug fixes, and there's a couple other bugs still in it. There is one with freezing trap, and I actually noticed it and eventually fixed itself. But some things are happening where freezing trap will send a minion back to your hand, and then you can't play it.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready when you are. Spin the wheel.
Spinning the wheel, looking for a gum chewer. I never get the gum chewer, but
Yeah, I know. All right, let's see what we get.
we got a demon hunter,
Okay. All right.
which is not a terrible matchup. You're kind of racing.
Right.
An early imprisoned Felmaul will be nice. We don't need the voracious reader this early. We like to draw the Wappletingers off of the Scavenger's Ingenuity, but having an early Wappletinger on turn 1 is probably good against Demon Hunter. They're going to want to smack them with their face.
So we're just going to throw back the voracious reader then?
I think so. I think we turn 1 Wappletinger into a turn 2 imprisoned Felmaul as of now.
Okay.
This is probably the sole Demon Hunter list. That's good. That'll give us a good turn 3 for whatever they put out. So we just Wappletinger.
Yep.
And the pack tactics might be useful.
Yeah. Say hopefully he'll just hero power here.
There is merit to pack tactics now instead of imprison Felmaul, because he's probably going to want to smack that.
Right. I mean, I don't hate that, because then we can Dwarven Sharpshooter into hero power turn 3.
Yeah, but that's really delaying the imprison Felmaul.
Okay.
I think we imprison Felmaul.
Okay.
Because at worst, we can put it out so the imprisoned Felmaul gets hit. And this next turn, we might Dwarven Sharpshooter and Impact Tactics, so that if he tries to attack into the Dwarven Sharpshooter, we get another one.
Okay. Chaos Strike. He's drawing a card.
Okay. That's weird. I don't know why he wouldn't have just hero powered there, but okay. I'm going to Dwarven Sharpshooter into Pack Tactics.
Okay, I like it.
So that if he does have to... See, I would have... He's not going to be able to have that Chaos Strike plus hero power to clear the Sharpshooter now.
Right.
But he has the
Warblades.
Warblade.
Oh, he's not going to attack. Excellent.
Because he can't clear it. That's why.
Okay, so do we just...
I think we just Voracious Reader and Hero Power Face.
I like that.
There's not really merit to the pressure plate. We'll get a card off of it. And whatever he tacks into...
We'll get a 3/3.
Pressure plated.
Yeah.
He's kind of in a tough spot. He's got 3 threatening minions on the board.
Yeah. Oh, he's going after the 5/4 maybe? No, he's just going. He's gaining life. Yeah.
Yep. No, he's Blade Dance. There we go. Blade Dance.
That pretty much leaves us with nothing.
Yeah, it puts us in a tough spot. But I'm going to imprison Felmaul, and I'm going to preemptive pressure plate. I know I probably want to be hitting a hero power, but he has a lifesteal weapon.
Right.
I don't want to bother front loading too much damage into it when he's just going to gain it back. And see, pressure plate won't pop unless he has a minion in play.
Yeah, yeah.
We Need a minion here. Ugh.
Just hero power pass, I guess.
We could play the freezing trap
Okay.
just in case he does play a cane or something like that to try to push a little extra damage.
Uh-huh. So, what do you think about Adorable Infestation on Felmaw next turn to make
Definitely.
Force him
Definitely.
to
We need a target for it anyways.
yeah.
I'd like to draw into Polkelt or Dragonbane.
That's going to trigger the pressure plate.
Pressure plate, okay. He doesn't have anything to attack into. So he's playing the more kind of tempo-based game here.
There's the reader.
This is good. So cast one here.
Play the reader and cast one there.
I think so. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and play one of the Cubs. And then Hero Power. It fills out our mana curve and it kind of...
Okay.
Hopefully we can draw in a kill command. Well, there we go. There's a kill commands. And it gives a kind of awkward board for him to deal with.
Yeah.
He's pretty sure one of these is Freezing Trap, obviously. If he knows the lists, he knows the three secrets. So.
Right.
But if he attacks into one of these minions with a minion, it's going to Freezing Trap and give us the 3/3 copy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was... Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's 3/3 minion. And the Freezing Trap... He hasn't shuffled... Actually, I haven't seen any soul fragments. So either he hasn't drawn them or he isn't running them.
Twin Slice, second copy of Blade Dance, maybe?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a Blade Dance here. Hopefully they hit the 1/1s.
Coordinated strike.
Coordinated
Okay.
strikes. That's kind of interesting. Clears all the 1/1s, maybe? No?
Interesting. He's getting everything down to 3 health.
Yeah. Which probably means we don't want to develop minions into this.
Right.
So we just go damage. So we got him at 11, and we're showing 11 on the board. I think he has the 3 damage synergy card for soul fragments, but he hasn't drawn any of his soul fragment cards. So it's telling me he's trying to draw into a soul fragment card, to shuffle a soul fragment, so that he can clear the board. And he just hasn't drawn any soul fragments.
Yeah.
Or drawn into any cards that give him soul fragments, that is. I think if he had drawn a soul fragment,
he would have snap played it. Yeah.
He would have snap played it.
So hopefully this means he can't clear everything.
Yep.
That's it.
He just drew bad. He just drew really bad. Yep.
Excellent.
He just drew really bad.
All
and we
right.
had a lot of pressure. I don't know if he necessarily won.
Yeah.
It sounds like he had all of his soul fragment activated cards, but not any of the ones that shuffle. Which can be the dark side of that deck.
Right.
It's happened to me a lot. Mage. So Mage is going to give us a little bit of time, but not necessarily a lot of time.
Right.
I like Adorable Infestation along with Roppeltinger.
Throw back the freezing trap.
Yeah, worst case, he probably pings off one of the Wappletingers, leaving another one up.
Okay, into Eaglehorn bow.
Damage. That's the baddest damage. Ooh,
There's the second adorable. Okay.
So let's throw out the Wappletinger.
Yeah. Because unless he's going to use the coin, he's not.
Well, he can use arcane missiles and get
Well,
really lucky,
that's true.
but I
Primordial
doubt
studies.
that happens.
Good.
What do you think of Adorable Festation on each of these?
I like it. Make it a little more difficult for him to deal with.
Yep. Or all of a sudden a token druid?
That's right.
Probably Eagle Hornbow this next turn. A lot of people are really big on saving your charges for your traps, but I'm just get the damage to face.
Right. Solarian, that's fine.
It's fine. Arcane Breath. Does he discover so he has no dragon?
Oh, that's... do we just Eagle Horn Bow and go face with everything?
Do we Eagle Hornbow down the Solarian, or do we just make
Well,
the hip trade?
No, that's totally a thing. We could do that. Yeah.
That saves our board a little bit. And that could be a mistake. I mean, that's 3 damage we missed a face, but he plays a lot of spells, and I wouldn't mind Pressure Plate.
Uh-huh.
This next turn.
Pressure plate and
maybe
Voracious Reader.
Yeah. Ooh. Or do we Pressure Plate Pack
Tactics?
Because Pressure Plate versus Reader doesn't draw us anything.
Right.
So I think if we Pressure Plate Pack Tactics, it gets our hand down. We swing to face. I think in this case we do save the weapon because we have two traps up.
Yeah.
And we're not really pressuring lethal yet. We're not on like a 2-turn lethal or anything. And a lot of these face hunters only run 2 secrets. They run a combination of the 3 that we do, either Freezing Trap and Pack Tactics, or Freezing Trap and Pressure Plate, or Pack Tactics and Pressure Plate. They don't usually run all 3.
Right.
So that wow, he's wanting to trade to a point where he's saving the wand maker. That's odd. Gonna double Ray of Frost ping.
Okay. That's gonna kill his.
Yep. That's gonna leave us a 3/3 on the board. And give us 2 more charges. So double Ray of Frost ping. Oh no, he Mana Cyclones instead.
Okay. So now we just play Demon Companion and go hard face.
Hopefully we get either the charge or the buff. We got the buff.
Good.
We just swing face.
Yep. And Hero Power.
Hero Power. Question: do we dump both the Cubs down or the Voracious Reader? Voracious Reader is only going to draw us 1 card.
Yeah, I think just dump the Cubs.
It doesn't give us an activator for kill command, but at this point he's so low that activator is not going to matter.
Right. We have lethal with our weapon and Hero Power.
Well, not just a weapon in here. If we drew the kill command, yes.
Right. But I mean, we have 2-turn lethal with our.
So he's going on a pop-off turn, which probably is going to involve Frost Nova of some type. But honestly, this isn't an OTK deck, so I think he's going to draw up dry.
Yep, that's lethal.
Calling Frost Nova. So that's probably Flame Ward. So he's swinging with the 3/3.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, he knew it.
There he goes.
And just like that.
He thought we'd hold off an attack, but that's... Frost, Flame Ward doesn't really... It's going to stop the damage, so...
Just like that, we're 2-0.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a good deck.
Yeah. Yeah, as you can see, it just does what is advertised. Kill your opponent quickly.
Oh, man, you got a legendary?
I do. I'm only missing a handful of legendaries from the classic set. So
Millhouse Manastorm.
Brightwing.
Oh, Brightwing. Okay, that's a good one.
One of the new ones. That's why I didn't have it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, feel free to email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already, and that little bell notification to be alerted when we post new videos. If you are interested in checking out our patron-only Discord for as little as $1 a month, head on over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys. Have fun.